Ghost break a new record, System of a Down disappear from Spotify, and James Hetfield met a horse? All that on this week's episode of
The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Oh, oh. The Jesse Lee Show. Jesse Lee Show.
Hey, it's me, Jesse Lee, and welcome to the podcast. Thank you for stopping by. If you're new around here, go ahead and find that follow button, find that subscribe button, and bang your head on those buttons, okay? And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music, go ahead and hit that 5-star rating button. I don't know what other kind of rating systems the other podcast platforms have, so drop a 5 thumbs ups or 5 didgeridoos, whatever it is, whatever platform you're listening to, give me the highest rating you possibly can. And I need your help to make this chart. I gotta make this podcast number 1, right? The podcast is already number 1 in your hearts. It's definitely number 1 in farts, but I need it to be number 1 on the charts. I can't do that without your help. I've had a pretty busy weekend. There was an opening for a new venue in Cleveland called Globe Iron, and I was there to DJ / host / drink a lot of margaritas. I'm not really sure if I contributed very much to the opening, to be honest. I was there. People took photos with me. People seemed okay with me being there. So I don't know if it was successful or not. The show was very successful. It was a very good show. A band called How We Feel played. It was their album release show. And it was overall just a great experience. I'm just glad there's a new venue in Cleveland. I did, however, find out that I pronounced the word iron wrong. I was for my entire life saying iron, Globe Iron. And my friend was like, say that word again? I'm like, iron. He's like, why are you putting a W in it? And then I became very, very self-conscious and started Google pronouncing it, looking up on Google pronunciations. And I even made it my wallpaper on my phone to make sure I didn't screw it up. I just really kind of avoided saying the word iron as much as I possibly could that night. I call it the GI for short. Feels good in your belly. Next week is going to be even busier. I got Sonic Temple Festival going down in Columbus. Huge 4-day festival. It's going to be a headline by Metallica, Linkin Park, Korn's going to be there. Even the undercard, as you would call them, bands are pretty huge, like Bad Omens and 3 Days Grace. So it's going to be a good time. We'll hopefully get some interviews done, get a lot of content for you. But next Tuesday's episode, it's going to be a bit of a drowsy one. It's going to be a little shaky. I don't know how awake I'm going to be after 4 days of rocking out in the sun, but fingers crossed. Today's top story, Ghost's new album broke a record. Ghost have become the first hard rock act in 4 years to top the Billboard 200's album chart. Their latest record, Skeletá, the debut, it debuted at number 1, topping releases by SZA, Kendrick Lamar, Morgan Wallen, Bad Bunny, and more. The craziest part about this was 89% of the total sales for this record, Skeletá, were physical sales, which is insane in 2025 that there's that many people out there buying a record. 44,000 vinyl copies were sold. And according to Billboard, that number, 44,000, marks the biggest vinyl sales week for a hard rock album in the modern era. They didn't start tracking until 1991. So it's the biggest vinyl sales week for a hard rock band, which is crazy. That first of all, it's awesome and amazing that many people are buying physical media, but also buying vinyl on top of that, because vinyl's quite a bit more expensive than the CD. I was actually at Walmart this past weekend doing some grocery shopping. I'm not trying to flex or anything, but I go to Walmart. I got Walmart money, and they had the Ghost album right there on an end cap. I was like, get the fuck out! That's a Ghost. You got Skeletá at Walmart. That's awesome. Like, good for them. They're doing great. But it did raise a question. This is the first hard rock album to top the Billboard 200 album chart in over 4 years. And when I posted this news on Instagram and TikTok at Jesse Lee, if you want to drop me a follow over there, a lot of comments right away were hard rock, ? Hard rock? More like flaccid rock, a lot of that kind of stuff. A lot of people don't think Ghosts really qualify as a hard rock band. I've seen them described as gothic Bon Jovi in the past. I feel like that's pretty accurate, but I would still consider them a hard rock band. They're definitely a rock band. You have to at least give them that. They're at least a rock band. I mean, I had a question recently that someone asked me if I consider Ghost to be a metal band. And I actually do. I think I would consider them to be a metal band, but in the way that Black Sabbath is considered a metal band, or Judas Priest is considered a metal band. I don't think like the definition of metal has obviously evolved over the years. And of course, when you think of metal now, you might think of something like Knocked Loose or, Slaughtered to Prevail, something like super, super heavy, and I don't think, those are more subgenres of metal. There are definitely versions of metal that get super, super heavy, but base level metal music, I think Ghost qualifies. They got some crunchy riffs, some distorted riffs. They got songs about death, just because frontman Tobias Forge sings softly sometimes. Is that what? Because he uses falsetto every now and then? It's not metal? I don't know. I think it counts as metal, but I don't know. I don't understand why we can't just be happy that that a rock band in general is topping the charts. Like I said, it's been 4 years since we've had any kind of hard rock band do it. And the last band to do it was AC/DC in 2020. Now you're saying 2020 to 2025 is 5 years, Jesse. Your math sucks. And you are correct. My math does suck. But in this case, the AC/DC album Power Up was actually released at the very end of 2020. So it has not been a full 5 years since that came out. But that was the last record to go number one on the Billboard 200 chart. So the fact that a rock band did it, but also a rock band from this, modern era. Like I know Ghost isn't a brand new band. Obviously, they're not, a band that just came out in the last couple of years. I think their first record came out in 2010, but still, that's a hell of a lot newer than AC/DC, So I think it's pretty cool that a band that is current, if you will, is topping the charts. Now, this will all be moot points by the end of next week because this is Sleep Token week, obviously. The new Sleep Token album, Even in Arcadia, drops this Friday. It's Worship Week. So obviously that one is, I can't see any world in where that album doesn't top the charts for next week's Billboard. Every track they've released so far has gotten millions and millions of views on YouTube, millions of listens on Spotify and what other streaming platforms. The only thing I could see keeping them from hitting number one is if people aren't buying it, maybe, because what helped Ghost Records sales, it looks like, is that many people bought the album. So I don't know if people not buying the physical album would affect it, but I really think a lot of Sleep Token fans are going to buy even the physical form of that record as well. That reminded me of the, we were talking yesterday about the 100 men versus one gorilla argument. I think the real debate here is, could 100 Sleep Token fans defeat one gorilla if he's got the only copy of Even in Arcadia? Like, let's say he's got a leaked copy. He's got a torrent link a few days early before the record actually drops. If that gorilla has that record, I'm going with those 100 Sleep Token fans. They're pretty ravenous. I think they'll take him out. But either way, this is all to say that this is a good time to be a rock fan. Whether you like Sleep Token or not, whether you like Ghost or not, it's totally fine. Personal preference aside, the fact that rock bands in general, and again, whether you want to consider them rock or not, that is what they're categorized as. The fact that rock bands and modern rock bands are topping these charts and are selling out these arenas and doing big things, it's good for everybody. Everybody eats in this situation, Like all tides raise ships, or however that euphemism goes. So it's good that whatever gets more people listening to guitar-driven music, if that is something that you love, if that's something you want to see happen more, and you want to see more bands out there touring, you want to see more bands out there creating music and less bedroom projects that are created with computers, nothing wrong with that. I'm not crapping on that. That's totally that. There's a lot of good music that comes out of bedrooms made on MacBooks, 100%. But I'm saying, if you like the sound of a few people getting together in a garage with real instruments and playing real songs that they wrote and then making it, what a romantic tale. You get together with your buddies and you hang out and listen to a lot of Metallica, and then you decide to start a band in your garage, and then you make some recordings, play some crappy shows, and then you get better and you get signed and you get put on tours and you sell millions of albums. What a beautiful tale. That's way more romantic than somebody that made a TikTok video and blew up and then, went viral. Not that I'm sure the bands will take that too. Whatever, there is no surefire path to success. Whatever gets you there is totally cool. But I'm just saying, whatever gets bands, more people in bands and making music, I think it's good for everyone. The other story I want to talk about, System of a Down's album Toxicity was removed from Spotify. Very briefly. The system literally went down, if you will. This happened on April 30th last week, and I posted the news, and very, very quickly the next day, the record was back up on Spotify. I think it was taken down from Deezer and Amazon Music as well. I'm not sure if anyone's using that to stream music really, but yeah, so it was gone for all of a day. It was like I said in the post when I made the news post, it was likely some kind of licensing issue, or maybe they were changing distributors and they was like, transferring everything over. That's something people don't think about. Like when a band, does any kind of thing on the back end, things need to be moved around, and there might be a little gap there. There might be a few hour gap where things aren't available while they're transferring, licenses over or whatnot. So I think that's probably what happened. There was probably some kind of licensing or distribution deal that needed to be moved around. I thought about reaching out to Serge Tankian, singer from System of a Down. Not trying to flex again or anything, but I have had him on my podcast before, so I thought about reaching out to him about getting some clarification, maybe getting a quote from him about it, but I didn't want to bother him with it because, again, it was back up the next day, and he'd probably be like, dude, I don't care. I'm not even involved in this decision on why it got taken down. But yeah, so I make that post, and the way the internet works, the way social media works, I make this post about System of a Down's album being down, and people are not seeing it until, multiple days later. The post now has millions of views, and I just have people in my comment section like tell me this isn't real. This is fake news. Why you lying? Why you making shit up for clout? Huh? Why you trying to rage bait people? Huh? It's like, bro, this was true news on April 30th. It was taken down. And I even updated the post. I went back and updated the post and said, hey, update. The album is now back on Spotify for all users. It was only down for one day, but it's out there for everyone. Prayer hands, I even went that far to update the post, but I'm still, to this day, a week later, getting comments, fake news. Why you lying, bro? Like, what do I gain out of that? What do I gain about making up something completely untrue and posting it on the? I mean, I guess some people do that, but I don't know. It doesn't really do me any good other than getting shit in the comment section. And I know I could delete the post and take it down, but at this point, it's been screenshotted and shared around. They're like, I'd rather have the original post up still that people can see so they can read the caption that says, update, here's what's going on with it. That's the problem, though. No one reads the caption. No one looks into it at all. They just see the headline, they move on. They get mad, they type a little comment, they move on. That's the internet for you. But it did lead to an interesting set of conversations. Aside from everyone commenting and talking crap about me being a liar in the comment section, another thing that was brought up a lot in the comment section was the importance of buying physical media. So I put up a poll on my Instagram story at Jesse Lee about this. And I want to know, do you think it's important to buy physical media? Can you trust streaming services to always be there for you? Because like we said, it was only down for a day. The System of a Down record was gone for a day. But if that's your favorite album, if you are only subscribed to Spotify, if that's your only way to stream music, and Toxicity is your favorite album, and maybe you don't have a CD player in your car, maybe you don't have a CD player, maybe you don't have an MP3 player, you don't have it downloaded or anything. Like the only way you listen to it is on Spotify. You couldn't listen to that for a whole day. That kind of sucks, right? And what if it didn't come back in one day? What if it took a few days to come back? That would have been a huge bummer, That's very woe is me, of course. That's very dramatic, but it just illustrates a bigger picture that you can't count on streaming services to always have the product you want to watch or listen to or whatever it is, And I was surprised at the poll I posted that 51% of you said you don't think it's important to buy physical media because of streaming services being unreliable. Now, that's not to say that 51% of the people who respond to this are saying they don't think it's important to buy physical media at all. Not like they're not saying they don't buy it because they don't want to support the band. The poll question specifically was, do you think it's important to buy this media because of streaming services not being reliable? And 51% of people said no, they didn't think it was a big deal, which was surprising because I just expected a lot more skepticism out there, a lot more cynical people out there that don't trust data collection services. But surprisingly, 51% of you said that you don't think it's important. Here's where I'm at. I think it's important, but I also don't practice what I preach, Because, like, for instance, One of my favorite movies of all time is Dogma. You know, the old Jay and Silent Bob movie. It's not Jay and Silent Bob, but it's well, I mean, they're in it, but it's Kevin Smith, his movie Dogma. Loved that movie when I was a kid. Way too young to be watching it. I should not have been watching it at the age I was, but it was one of my favorite movies as a kid. And it's not available on any streaming services due to licensing and distro issues and whatever. And I know Kevin Smith, like before, I know the comments are going to be reminding me of this, so I'm going to get ahead of it now. I know Kevin Smith has since bought back the rights to Dogma. He did a big interview about it, and Dogma will be available on streaming services at some point. But as of now, I cannot watch Dogma. I cannot watch that movie. I can't stream it anywhere. I can't buy it anywhere. If I have a DVD, if I could hunt down a DVD copy on eBay, cool. Still have no way to play it because I don't have a DVD player. And again, very woe is me. It's not that big of a deal. I do love that movie, but it's not like I'm not like itching to watch it every day or anything like that. It's not driving me insane. It's not gnawing at me to not be able to watch it. But it's just a good point that, like, there's a lot of things out there, even aside from that, of famous music and movies. How many bands have you listened to when you were younger that never really quote unquote made it, and they just didn't pay the $9.99 for CD Baby to put their music on streaming services, and it's just gone forever? There's a lot of bands that I've listened to and got into when I was younger, especially before the days of streaming even existed, before the internet was really kind of in its infancy. And these songs, these albums are just like gone. They're nowhere to be found. You can't listen to them anymore. They're not there. They disappear. Sometimes somebody will rip something and put it on YouTube and you can listen to it that way. But man, if you don't own it, it's like it didn't exist. There's so many bands and artists out there that probably have like #1 hit songs just sitting on a hard drive somewhere. Or worse, they don't even have it. They don't even have it anymore. They wrote it, recorded it, and it's on some laptop that won't turn on, So I do think it's important to produce physical media. I think it's really important to own physical media. And I should really start practicing what I'm preaching here. But let me know in the comments. Let me know, do you think it's important to buy physical media? Because you can't always rely on streaming services to have everything you need. I'm going to get into some new releases this week. Turnstile dropped a double single called Seeing Stars and Birds. The former features Hayley Williams on it from Paramore, of course. And I actually like Birds better. I know Seeing Stars is the one that has Hayley Williams on it, but Birds, I don't know, kicks more ass, in my opinion. I like that song a lot more. Loathe is back with a new song called Gifted Every Strength. The band is currently out on tour with Spirit Box. Also got new songs from Newfound Glory, Pup, Silverstein, and a ton more. I have a playlist called Jesse Lee's New Music Friday. It's linked in, it should be linked somewhere in the description. But you can go there. Every week I update with all the new releases for the week, so you can go check that out. Also, at the time of recording this, I record these on, I'm going to pull back the curtain for you. I record these on Monday. I know you're listening to this on a Tuesday, probably, because of course you listen to them as soon as they drop, right? Of course you listen to this episode as soon as it drops on Tuesday. But pulling back the curtain a little bit, I actually record this on Monday, the day before, because I got to get time to upload and everything. So as of today, I'm telling you that okay, let me back up. If you're listening to this right now on Tuesday, a new Pierce the Veil song is out today. That's what I'm getting at. I haven't heard it yet because I'm in the past. You're in the future right now on Tuesday. So if you've heard the new Pierce the Veil song, it's called Kiss Me Now. It's supposed to be out today. Let me know. Put in the comments what you think about it. Something I did hear, though, is Puddle of Mud released their new album, Kiss the Machine. But some employees at Jiffy Lube got to hear it early. It turns out Wes Scanlin, he goes to get his oil changed at Jiffy Lube pretty regularly. He's got some good friends over there, and he previewed the new album for some of the employees.
Hey, Samson here? Yeah? Tell him Wesley's here.
Wesley? I mean, I know Wes is likely short for Wesley, but he calls himself that? He doesn't just say it's Wes? That's okay. All right.
Samson. We're going to see if he likes the song.
I feel like Samson's like, oh man, Wes is here again. All right.
Samson digs it.
No, he's dancing. He does dig it.
Look, man, last time, dude, you guys messed everything up, dude. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm not singer.
Sam says, like, come on, man. I'm just trying to do my job here. Why you gotta come up here playing butt rock for me every other week? Come on.
I'm the singer Wesley from Puddle of Mud, the band.
I've never heard of it.
Okay, well, you have now.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
This is real. I'm gonna go to it right now so you can hear it. It's actually pretty dope.
What is this? Is this about us or something?
No.
Did you write a song about Jiffy Lube? Is that why you're showing it to us? Like, no, I'm just trying to promote my new album.
We're doing promotional video.
I got 180
million.
Yeah. 375 million.
Oh, my bad.
Just one jam.
I know this song.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, what? Oh, I see that.
Yeah, that's me, baby doll.
Okay, wait, where my phone at?
Go get it.
That's me, man.
Pocket. Hold on.
I don't know why they ain't playing, girl.
Can I get a picture with you, for real?
Of course, man, for reals.
I love this. Like, no, not trying to talk crap about this employee. She's very, excited or whatever. But it is funny how, like, 4 seconds ago, she had no idea who Puddle of Mud was. She didn't know who Wes Scanlin was. And now that she realizes that he was famous or is famous, whatever you want to call it, now she wants a photo, it's just such a classic thing like people do when they're like, oh, you're important? Hey, let's get a photo together. Like, they don't care until they feel like you're an important person. Not that I've ever had that experience. I'm not important. I've never had anyone want to take a photo with me because of that. But I imagine this is what it would be like.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Got the whole Jiffy Lube crew out there.
You are my beautiful little disaster. Come on, little baby. I love it when you show up naked, shaking at the front.
They're rocking, man. Jiffy Lube approved. I don't want to play too much of that. I don't want to get a copyright from Puddle of Mud. But yeah, the new album Kiss Machina is out now. All jokes aside, Puddle of Mud has written a lot of bangers, and I do love a lot of their older catalog. And so yeah, I'm not trying to dunk on Wes Scanlin at all on this one. I thought it was a pretty funny little way to promote the album, showing the Jiffy Lube employees. Some more quick stories I want to get into. James Hetfield went to the Kentucky Derby and visited the horse Sandman, who is named after the Metallica song. Post a little photo of it up here for you, or I guess right here. Yeah. James Hetfield looks pretty stoked to be meeting that horse. The horse seems kind of indifferent to the whole thing. Seems kind of rude, actually. Maybe he's not very excited to meet the Metallica frontman. Maybe he's more of a Megadeth fan, this horse. Who knows? Travis McCoy was on the Lightweights podcast with Joe Volpus and announced Gym Class Heroes is returning after 14 years. They're getting back together officially. They're going to be dropping a new record and going on tour. After all this time, though, I feel like they're probably going to have to call themselves like Pilates Class Heroes or Water Aerobics Heroes, probably. Lady Gaga performed to a record-breaking crowd during her free concert at Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. This happened on Saturday. Approximately 2.5 million people attended the free concert, and the event is now the highest attended concert by a female artist in history, which surpasses Madonna's 2024 performance there at the same venue. That one only drew a measly 1.6 million. However, did a little more digging, a little more research for you. The largest concert crowd in history the record is still held by Rod Stewart. He drew 3.5 million fans to a New Year's Eve performance at where? Copacabana Beach in Brazil. Man, Brazilians turn up. I every time a band announces a new tour and they don't announce a Brazil date, if the band is even relatively popular, the comment section is flooded with people begging the band to come to Brazil. Brazilians love music over there. And I feel like, maybe sometimes you see comments like, oh, it's all talk, but it's not. Clearly, Brazilians show up. They turn out. 3.5 million people. There are 3 records. The top 3 records for the most attended concerts in history are all in Brazil. So good on you, Brazilians. Also, I'm a fan of your waxing. Green Day was honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Actor Ryan Reynolds, producer Rob Cavallo, Flava Flav were all there. And also, most importantly, former MTV host and host of The Power, Matt Pinfield. He was also there to present, which is very huge because Matt Pinfield just recovered from a stroke. He was in a coma for a while, and he's already back at it, like doing award shows and and out there in the music scene again, which is just awesome to hear. It's awesome to see. Matt Pinfield is an absolute legend. And not just the rock music world, but like the music world in general. And when he, had that stroke and fell into a coma, everyone was very, very worried about him and very concerned. And it's so great that he's not only awake and with us still, but still doing what he loves, hanging out with Green Day on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Frontman Billy Joe Armstrong, when they got the star, he said, "This is crazy. It's kind of like being at your own funeral." Which, yeah, I mean, it's cool for Green Day. Like they went from writing songs about, jerking it to getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Good for them. All right, let's get into some questions. Your Q's, my A's. The Little Owl 10 on Instagram said, which albums have you enjoyed the most so far this year? Off the top of my head, obviously the new Ghost album. Very much enjoying Skeletá, and that might be some recency bias, possibly. But I very much do enjoy the new Ghost album. Architects, their new album that they dropped, I like that one a lot. Spirit Box, good stuff. So yeah, I mean, off the top of my head again, just gut instinct. Those are the ones I've been probably spinning the most so far this year. Great thing is, we're not even halfway through yet. We've already had some killer releases. So we got almost 7 more months of kick-ass tunes before we have to decide what our album of the year is. Really 6 more months. No one really releases anything in December, but still possible. Millie Hole Camp on Instagram said, did you see Fall Out Boy mentioned a new era in their From Under the Cork Tree post? Yeah, Fall Out Boy's album From Under the Cork Tree just turned 20 this past week, and they made a little homage to it, made a post, a little remembrance to it. And they said they had some special things planned for the celebration of this album, possibly later this year. But as for now, it's on to the next chapter. So I assume that's what you mean by the new era. I don't think there's anything concrete that they're rolling out yet. It doesn't look like anyway. I think they were just alluding to the fact that they're still working on a new record. They're working on the next chapter of Fall Out Boy. So, I mean, they're still, plugging away, still releasing albums, which is great. A band that has such success 20 years ago, still putting out very consistent, very good music, still awesome stuff. Yeah, I'm excited to hear the new era, the new chapter of Fall Out Boy. Katie with the C, C-A-D-Y, Nonstop. Katie Nonstop said, favorite place to get pizza? Well, Katie, you've opened up a whole bucket of chestnuts now, haven't you? There was a place in Cleveland that I loved dearly called Brothers Pizza. Not only do they have a fantastic, just regular old pepperoni pizza, they also had a smashed potato pizza, which had French fries on it, and this garlic mayonnaise dip. Oh, it was so good. It was like a side dish with your classic pizza as a main course. It was the best. And then it burned to the ground. It's gone. Brothers Pizza is gone. Oh, I'm still so torn up about it. Yeah, Brothers Pizza. That was the spot. That was my favorite spot in Cleveland. I have yet to find anything even close. Honestly, at this point, these days, I'm just getting Pizza Hut. No one out Pizza Hut, if we're being honest. So I just kind of stick with Pizza Hut. Romeo's is pretty solid. As far as any other local chains, I don't know. There was this place called Angelo's in Lakewood that was pretty good, but I guess the owner got involved in some bad stuff or something. I don't know. You know what? Let's not dive into that. I'm not trying to get into any kind of pizza awards or anything like that. So we'll just leave it at that. Pizza Hut. Go check out Pizza Hut. Also, I get this comment a lot. I'm not even going to single out one single person here. Because I've gotten it a few times. I get this question a few times every week on my post. It says, where are the top 10 songs of the week? As you know, I do the top 10 trending songs of the week every week. And on YouTube, it keeps getting copyrighted. It keeps getting taken down. So I keep getting comments on my other videos like, where are the top 10 songs of the week? They're up. I'm doing it. I'm doing the top 10 trending tracks this week from rock to alternative. I'm doing it every single week. It's just Spotify keeps blocking it. So if you want to see that video that I do every single week, your best bet is to go follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, because YouTube is very unreliable when it comes to, as much as I love YouTube, not trying to trash them. Please don't squash this video. Please don't crush the reach of this video. I love YouTube. But as far as like my top 10 tracks of the week videos, some of them get through, some of them don't. Some of them get blocked. I've had some videos get blocked and I fight it, and then a month later it gets approved and then it's available to be seen again, which does me no good. You don't want to see the top 10 trending tracks of the week from last month, right? That doesn't help you. Doesn't help me, that's for sure. So yeah, anyway, if you want to see them, that's what you need to do. You need to check it out on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, wherever. You can find me at Jesse Lee on all those platforms. And with that, I'm going to be getting out of here for the day. Again, I'll be back here next Tuesday after Sonic Temple Festival. We'll go over everything else that I saw there. Hopefully have some exciting music news for you. Make sure to please find that follow button, find that subscribe button, and bang your head on those buttons. Leave a 5-star rating on Spotify, Apple Music. But above all else, share this episode with someone that doesn't suck. All right? Take it easy now, and bye-bye.
The Jesse Lee Show. The Jesse Lee Show. The Jesse Lee Show.